with my 8 grid. Now, my 8 grid, we're going to go ahead and give you enough information to get your week completely started. This is the part of the show where everything is kind of like dissected so you can get an idea, and basically your Monday should be a little bit easier. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of forecast what's going to happen with NQ. All right, so NQ, where it is right now, we could see this on the chart and we could really understand that NQ has been breaking a lot of structures here. No matter what happened, what a downtrend, they're basically chopping and eating everybody up. I drew this line a week before, and you could see now I got to adjust this line and do like this because we made higher highs. So right now we're in a very massive bump and run. I'm not saying I want to see the market come down. I'm just saying it's not healthy when you have such. Okay, you're probably gonna be like, well, JD, you're just being a hater. Okay, cool. So here's our October 23rd, right? It takes 2 points to make an uptrend. Here's our 2 points, right? And every time it makes a higher high, I readjust it. And this lets me kind of keep my guide going, right? So this is the major trend. So now when we started really moving and everything else, the market was starting to realize, oh yeah, this thing is just like money is just being poured in. There's barely any pullbacks, right? Nice little pullback, but the moment we broke this level, we have to find our high low. Look at where we started to really taper off. It's because we were running out of steam. This was that high. We made higher highs. This is our higher low that led to this. And we tried to use this. Okay. So now you got to ask yourself a question. With this rally, where are we going to go? Oof. Oh man. I'm thinking 160. Just the moment that they say enough is enough, because now we've now changed this angle of this line. This is where we are currently. And these investors are probably still in, and those investors back in January 2023 are probably still in. Maybe. Possibly. Bull flag breakouts on top of bull flag breakouts. We're in a completely bull market. And of course, a lot of this catalyst is built on the fact that we're in an election year. But we're just building up for a lot of these levels to be tested. And the question is, will any of them get tested? Could this thing just rally until it gets to November? And let's pick a couple of these lines. Here is November 4th. We'll go with November 4th, right before election. Could we get to, well, we're already here. Maybe we keep on this dance. Maybe we get to around 2300. Can it be insane enough to get around 2700 on the Qs? Very possible. Not saying I want to see it happen, but what if it did? At what point does everybody in the market just say, you know what? I made a lot of money. I need to be able to sit on cash. And the only time they're going to sit on cash is when the dollar gains its value. Right now, the dollar is struggling. And I'm going to explain that later. Let's go to oil. Oil has been doing some very interesting stuff. I told a couple people in the community that this thing was going to continue to rally because it broke downtrends, and there was a major downtrend that started all the way back here that they just rounded that bottom. This bottom is so nice and round. You can tell the support is sitting there waiting for oil to just go ahead and rally to where it is. So this nice little bull flag breakout in itself was a retest for the back of the trend line because we did break this down. So there's a little bit of a battle, a little bit of a fight in the market because at the end of the day, the bulls and the bears are going to agree on prices and they want to go ahead and get it at its lowest point. So this compression is how much activity is there. People are taking profits and people are stepping back in. So looking at this, being in this range, and it seems like we're going to just be playing inside of a range of $87 to $72, I can see oil attempt to make this high, break this $87. If it does, that means we could change the angle of this trend and it'll be a little bit more healthier. That's the reason why I think we're a little bit stuck here because we did not make a healthy trend. It's what I was talking about with NQ. Because if I put this line back here, you can see that line, that angle was tested and they tried to get back above it and they struggled to get back above it. And when they couldn't get back above it, what did they do? I need to start taking my profit. I'll find a better price lower. And that was the 72.63 level. Can this happen again? Can this turn into what looks like a potential symmetrical triangle? Possibly. But at the point right now, the stochastic is oversold. It's at its highest point. There's going to be some question marks around oil. So just keep an eye with these wicks that's happening. The moment it makes a lower high, it may be coming down. Next one is gold. Gold is very interesting here too because I did see this as a potential bull flag breakout. And I was like, gold is not going to be the catalyst that drives it. It's really silver, and I'm going to point that out when I get to the silver side. But if we look at this, this is a nice little downward slope that held its point, right? And they were just selling every time it touches it. But that break above was the one that was going to be the question mark, and we just changed character. Now, with this change of character, I am still not bullish on gold. There's a lot to be desired, especially this 2430. I don't think we're going to go ahead and get to that level. I think there may be an order block up above there that's going to go ahead and sell this off. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we go over to silver, you'll see that's a bull flag breakout. So with silver where it is right now, it just shows me that this whole entire move is being driven by the fact that silver never had the opportunity to rally the way gold did. So when they go into one commodity, a lot of the ETFs, the index funds, all of them, if they buy one, they got to buy the other. I think that's what we're getting here. Is it sustainable? Well, if it is sustainable, could this be the reason and catalyst for NQ to get to that 2700 level? Because that means you would have silver somewhere around $41. That's a very strong possibility, just depending on how the market reacts to certain levels. Right now, a nice break here. I'm looking for one more green candle on silver to continue to that upside. So we'll see what happens there. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is British pound. Now, British pound has an inverse relationship to the dollar. So as it strengthens, it falls. So it kind of follows the NQ. The British just had an election on the 4th. And that's probably what was the catalyst to kind of hold its bottom here. But this thing was on its way down to the dirt as soon as April came in. And then they took another stab at it in June to kind of make its way down. And only could do about 50% of that move. So since they only did 50% of the move, now it's making me think that this was a bounce at this level, and they're probably going to continue to the upside, which is going to put strength on weakness on the dollar. People are not going to convert that to cash. Why am I going to take it out the stock market? Me sitting on cash while the dollar is dropping? What the hell am I doing that for? I'm going to do bonds? Yeah, right. Anyways, so that's what I see with the British pound. Natural gas, I think people... Yeah, that's funny. I was telling some of my people in the community, and I was like, well, natural gas where it is, it looks like they're trying to hold it at this level so that way they could go ahead and liquidate some people. Because we're just not ready for natural gas. It's not its season right now. It did look like a W, hence the reason why I still got this up. I do think they just liquidating. It's probably going to be some manipulation. It's probably going to find a bounce, maybe at the 50%, and then continue back to the upside. So this is going to be very interesting where it is right now. That's natural gas. Let's go ahead and go to the Russell. Russell tends to lead the indices. right now it does not look like it's taking off. It looks like it's tired. It looks like everything as far as the party going on, it is just done, and it just wants to relax right now because it's been rallying ever since this October. And this is our whole entire trend. Here's our two touches. Our uptrend is right. I think I kind of butchered that one. Yeah, I butchered that one. There we go. Right? Our uptrend is like right here, and this is it. And they just can't. Russell cannot make higher highs. So if the Russell cannot make higher highs, why is MQ making higher highs? Especially when it leads the industry. Anyways, moving on. That is the Russell. All right, and then the dollar. This is what I was explaining with the dollar. The dollar, and the reason why we kind of had that drop off here and there and spotty during the certain parts of the market was because the dollar tried to rally. Those were entries for more bullish momentum. You can see violent drops, violent drop, violent drop. The October whole rally that set everything off and the party started was roughly around here. And you can see this double top M pattern breakdown. And it just basically tanked the market the whole entire time. That's why we're in this bull market that we're in right now. The dollar is fighting to gain strength. And the reason it's fighting to gain strength is because they know the Fed's going to raise interest. The moment that they raise interest, it's going to ask a lot of questions on what the economy is going to look like. Does it trigger anything? Does it trigger a recession? Does it trigger depression? Does it trigger, where people are like, let me go ahead and shift over to bonds or other safer instruments, because that's the next step. That is the next domino that's left to fall, because people are going to eventually take profit, and that's what the dollar looks like. So that's why I'm saying that there is going to be maybe one more rally. I think we're going to break this downtrend, the uptrend line. I think we're going to test that 200 EMA, and I do think we're going to do a 618 possible bounce if it actually breaks down, and that should be the catalyst that reverses it when it's all said and done, as it tries, and I do mean try, to break out to that upside. And I don't know, that dollar looks rough. Other than that, that's pretty much the show. I appreciate everyone that took the time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. Share it to everybody. Anyone that is hearing my voice, make sure you reach out to like 3, 4, 5 of your friends that are trading and let them know that I just went ahead and dropped a lot of gems to let y'all know. And this right there is before you take the trade, and I'll see y'all next week. Yeah, have a great day.